past game against Northwestern was the one I thought they could win, and they couldn't win that. And if you watch that game, it wasn't like Northwestern was like front running the whole game. They only put up 2 touchdowns. Like in 4 games, they've scored 10 points, 23, 10, and 14. So there's just nothing going on with this UCLA offense. And now it's going to be a patchwork of interim coaches. Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barber, where we talk NFL and college. And we're back to the gift that keeps on giving. It's the Nico Iamaleava UCLA unraveling story. And the next step in this story is the firing or the letting go of offensive coordinator Tino Sunseri. Now, this is significant. Okay, so obviously the head coach, 3 games in, he's gone. Now 4 games in, the OC is gone. So I'm sure you know this story of all the different excuses we've heard of why he left Tennessee. So Tennessee gets the shirt for these. I'm not a Tennessee homer or anything, but they get the shirt for all of these talks because they're the winner in this exchange, given how Joey Aguilar is just totally balling out at Tennessee. And they clearly won this exchange. If you want to pick a winner and a loser here, they came out on the right side of that exiting of Nico and entering of Joey. So you could really say UCLA lost it and Tennessee won it. But anyways, it's the unraveling at UCLA, and the unraveling of this year is this story that just doesn't end. So in week 3, the coach gets fired. Now after losing to Northwestern, which I thought was the only game they could win, UCLA. So now the offensive coordinator got fired. And that's significant because one of the many reasons we heard Nico left Tennessee for UCLA was this nonsense about Tennessee's offensive scheme not preparing quarterbacks for the NFL, and somehow the UCLA program was going to be better at that. And so if you want to read into it, Tino Sunseri was the co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Indiana last year. Now, Indiana was one of the best offenses in the country. They were top 2 or 3 in scoring, top 2 or 3 in yards. Pick any category you want. They were top 5. They if you watched any of Indiana, and they went to the playoffs, and they were just crushing teams and Big Ten teams, right? Like this was a team that put away everyone except for Ohio State in the Big Ten and put them away big. Like they were just demolishing teams. So you could, the one argument that we heard, not having any insider knowledge, but just the general public that heard about why UCLA was the right choice for Nico, was this up-and-coming savant offensive coordinator. By the way, this is his first year being the offensive coordinator calling the plays. So even though he was co-coordinator in Indiana, I don't think he actually called plays. So the idea was you've got this guy who was part of an offense that was one of the best, one of the top 2 in the country, and a Big Ten offense that smoked the entire Big Ten except for Ohio State. So you could say, here we go. This is why. Now, here's a good reason why I'm at UCLA. Well, now that guy's gone too. So none of the story of why he's there remains, except for the thing about wanting to be close to home, which I maintain is the worst of all the excuses to buy. Because if that's the case, we're talking about a 5-star recruit who can't handle being away from home and actually thinks he's going to the NFL, but I don't, again, I said this in the last video, I don't know if he knows, but he can't just decide to be close from home and say, well, only the Chargers and the Rams can draft me because I want to be close to home. Like part of college is going away from home and not just be like, especially when you're trying to be the leader of a team. Like that story is kind of pathetic, but that's the only thing that's even left because the head coach is now gone and the OC, at least if the OC stayed, this nonsensical story that, UCLA's offense is better at preparing me for the NFL than Tennessee's. At minimum, you could hang on to that little bit of the story that Sunseri came from this high-powered Indiana offense. And Curtis Rourke, a fellow Canadian, kid grew up like 5 minutes away from where I grew up. If that kid can do it, then I can do. I'm a 5-star recruit. He wasn't. So that's the only story that even held a bit of water for what remains at the UCLA program. And now he's gone too. So there's nothing left of any of the stories of why he went there, other than the story that he just wants to be close to home, that's a massive red flag if this kid can't even handle being away from home. So if that's true, if it's really wanting to be close to home, so first of all, they're going 0-12 this year, I think. I don't think they're beating anyone remaining on this schedule. And I mean, there's not any quarterback here that he's better than. Like, for example, their next game is against Penn State. Penn State is going to steamroll them, especially after what just happened against Oregon. Like, Penn State is going to be looking to put away everybody that's left on this schedule and kind of prove a point. So that's not going to go well at all. I mean, it doesn't matter that it's at home. They're going to get crushed by Penn State. Then they got Michigan State. Aiden Childs was playing the best football he's played all in his whole career. He's protecting the ball. I think he only has 1 interception and maybe 8 touchdowns. So I'm not taking them over Michigan State, especially at Michigan State. Then they get Maryland at home. Malik Washington's 4-0 as a quarterback, and he also has a great touchdown interception ratio. So I not necessarily think they could beat Maryland. And then they have Indiana. So they're not beating Indiana, because that team, I mean, put 63 on Illinois, but then also beat Iowa in a gritty low scoring game. I think it was like 20-15. So they can do it both ways. Indiana's going to outclass them for sure. Then there's Nebraska. Dylan Raiola's playing great. Like, he's playing like a true 5-star quarterback. So I doubt they're going to have any chance at Nebraska. Nebraska just played Michigan to the wire. So I don't see them hanging in there with Nebraska. I mean, if they couldn't beat New Mexico. They couldn't beat UNLV. They couldn't even beat Northwestern. What makes anyone think they're beating any of these teams? Then they have Ohio State at Ohio State. That's going to be a bloodbath. And there's no way I doubt they're beating Washington. That quarterback and running back combination is one of the best in the country. Yes, they struggled with Ohio State, but everyone struggles with Ohio State. I don't think that one's going to be particularly close. And then it's USC. So there's nothing on this schedule. This past game against Northwestern was the one I thought they could win, and they couldn't win that. And if you watch that game, it wasn't like Northwestern was like front running the whole game. They only put up 2 touchdowns. Like, in 4 games, they've scored 10 points, 23, 10, and 14. So there's just nothing going on with this UCLA offense. And now it's going to be a patchwork of interim coaches. So, I mean, I guess his options, if he wants to stay close to home, are either just stay at UCLA and just see what the coaching carousel produces, or, I don't know, Fresno State, or I don't know what's close to the area. He's not going to USC. So, their QB is going to be there for at least another year after this year. So it's not that. I mean, but Stanford, is that too far? Maybe he has to go to San Diego State. Is that close enough? I don't know. San Jose State. I don't know. Maybe Cal Poly. Maybe they'll have a quarterback opening next year. So if this staying close to home is really the answer. So I think what probably we don't know and behind the scenes might have happened was the real story is it was something to do with Tennessee. He overplayed his hand, left Tennessee thinking he had options, and quickly found out he really didn't have options. And UCLA was kind of the only suitor left, like the only one left at the end of the night. When the lights come on, you're like, oh no, I'm going home with you. And that's it. There was no good option. So maybe he thought he could press Tennessee, and Tennessee called his bluff. And then afterwards, he just didn't have an option. And this is the best you can do, because you can't tell me Nico and his team did their due diligence and looked at UCLA and objectively said, that's better than Tennessee to prepare me for the NFL. And were utterly clueless that the coach and the offensive coordinator would be gone by week 4. Or clueless that the program was this shaky, that this is where it could happen. You can't be that bad at doing your due diligence. You just, to me, this was just what probably happened here. Was there was nobody desperate enough to take you after Tennessee called your bluff and said, pound sand, get out of here. And it could also be that in the NIL era, the time this all went down, there was no, all the money was allocated. All the NIL money was allocated for all the schools he was hoping to maybe go to. Well, they already had the budget set for their roster. They already had the quarterback position accounted for and money allocated. Most teams, I'm guessing, likely just that he might have wanted to go to, all of the money was taken care of for this year. So they're thinking, well, maybe if you talk to us 6 months ago, but not right now, we can't. It's all taken care of. It's too late. It's too late in the game. We're at the 11th hour. Our quarterback position is set. The money's set. There's no money for you now. And maybe UCLA, maybe the fact that UCLA made this happen and and then Aguilar walks and goes to Tennessee and he looks great there. They're balling out. Aguilar looks great at Tennessee. Maybe that little switch also shows you how unstable UCLA is, that they bothered to make this move and took his brother too from Arkansas. So I don't know if it's true that he wants to stay close to home. Maybe he just sticks at UCLA no matter what happens here. My guess, like I said in the last video, is that him and his brother are going to bail for greener pastures, what they think are greener pastures somewhere else. And if they leave California, well, then now we know that wanting to be close from home was also a BS excuse. So it's just, I mean, I kind of feel bad for the kid at this point. Like he's been the villain all through this story, and maybe the true villain is someone behind the scenes. I know a lot of people speculate that his dad's pulling all the strings here, and he's almost, it's like Stockholm syndrome. He's just the victim of his dad just being overbearing. I have no idea. I have no inside knowledge, but man, if he's making these decisions, these are pretty bad decisions. If someone's guiding him into these and he doesn't have whatever the dynamic is, he can't push back and say, no, I want to make the call. Whoever's guided him into this mess, I mean, that's just totally unfair. Either way, this is bad for him. This season is a lost season. My guess is they don't win another game, and they mostly just get steamrolled for the rest of the season by this Big Ten schedule here. And so it's a lost season. And also, somebody speculated why not take he's only played 4 games, so why not do a redshirt year? But he's already used up his redshirt year, so that he can't do that. So he's stuck on this roster for this year. So I guess I don't know, take the field with whatever coach patchwork there is there and just see what happens. But man, you're up against some good quarterbacks for the rest of a lot of good quarterbacks for the rest of the year, and I just can't see it going well. And I mean, of all years for Maryland to just have another good, Maryland oddly has a lot of good quarterbacks go through, and they got another one now. So, and Raiola's coming around. Ohio State's just Ohio State. They're not beating them. And like I said, Penn State's got something to prove. So when that game happens, that's going to be ugly. And even Michigan State, Aiden Childs was turnover prone. He's not at all this year. He's playing really good football. So there's just nobody on this schedule. Damon Williams at Washington's really good. There's just nobody left on this schedule that you can kind of get. Like, they're all playing really good. Like, you're just going to be the weaker team in all of these games. So, I mean, maybe UCLA just doesn't take the football program seriously at this point. I don't know. It's just, again, none of this story adds up. Why he's there, all of the reasons why he's there just keep falling away and falling away. And now that Sunseri is gone, the story of this up-and-coming savant offensive coordinator who could put together an amazing offense like we saw at Indiana last year, that story's gone now too. So he's gone now too. So there's literally nothing left except for the weakest of all the excuses. I just want to be close to home. So kind of now at this point, it's sort of pathetic, and I kind of feel bad for him. And I mean, I just can't get enough of this story. It's almost like a morbid fascination, like watching a slow motion car wreck here. And now I don't know if he can salvage his career. This is going to be a lost season of development while Aguilar is balling out in Tennessee. And who knows, maybe, Tennessee played Georgia to the wire, to overtime. They could easily be 5-0 right now. So, I mean, I can't imagine he goes home after getting beat by Northwestern, looking at Tennessee thinking it'd be pretty nice to be back there, going head to head against Georgia, maybe making the playoffs again. Like, I can't imagine whatever happened between him and Tennessee was that bad, that this is better. I mean, obviously didn't expect it to go this badly, but for it to have unraveled this badly, this fast, makes me think they really didn't know what was going on with the UCLA program. And this move was more to do with it falling apart at Tennessee and maybe Tennessee calling his bluff. And UCLA was just the only one that would take him. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. It just, oh God, what an ugly situation this is. So anyways, we'll see. I could, maybe Maybe they win a couple games here. Maybe something works out, but I highly doubt it. I would not put money on UCLA to win another game for the rest of this season. All right, well, that's about all. I mean, I can't help it. I got to talk about it, and if it keeps falling apart, I'm going to have to keep talking about it. All right, catch you later.